they're not good players, are they? Like if you look at the Chelsea squad, you know, I think
who do you think of when you say that?
Cole Palmer is elite. Cole Palmer is a sensational footballer. I think Caicedo is excellent and could potentially become one of the best in his position in the league. After that, now I don't really know what we're doing. Like we're lamenting over the loss of Nicholas Jackson being injured. Nicholas Jackson is so average. Like, so average. He scored, 14 Premier League goals last season. Solomon Kalou used to get that from the bench. Lampard used to get that from midfield. Malouda used to get it from the wing. Like, this isn't a centre-forward. He's got 14 goals. And people are going, oh, he's injured. We're never going to make it. And the reason we're not going to make it is because he's injured. Nkunku doesn't want to be at the club. He scored 5 goals in 30-odd games. So now we're relying on, apparently, this kid, Mark Good.
He's injured as well, isn't he?
Well, he's injured at the moment, but he's going to be the guy because Nkunku doesn't want to be. We signed Joao Felix, who's now not there. We've signed Jadon Sancho, who hasn't had a good game.
Under the radar so much, both those signings. But the Felix one has gone under the radar. No one seems to mind that they've signed him for however much it was 4 months ago.
And he's now gone.
And now he's gone.
Now he's gone. It's like, what are you doing?
And in terms of Maresca, Rory, jury sell out very much? Or you
Welcome back to the Fan Channel Review Show. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Make sure you are subscribing. We're touching on Chelsea. We're touching on Arsenal. We're touching on Manchester United during this stream. Here is Rory Jennings. I say fuming, very, very eloquently fuming, going in on the striker crisis at Chelsea, but simply talking about the standards of the club being too low, fans not demanding more, and almost accepting the lack of quality that is in this squad, or maybe overhyping the quality that is in this Chelsea squad. I want to get your views and opinions on what he said so far about Jackson, about you, about allowing Joao Felix to go. And fans, I use his words, lamenting over Jackson being injured. Should Jackson be the pinnacle of the attack of Chelsea Football Club? Let us know in the comments section below.
He's just not. Do you know what he is? and on some level, I feel sorry for him because he just isn't a Chelsea manager. I think he's a Championship manager that's been thrown into the deep end. You look at the way that he conducts himself. He's already now come out and said something along the lines of, "I was told to get into the Champions League within 2 years. It's not about my first year." Like, what are you talking about? Like, at Chelsea, the standards used to be through the roof. We've just lost twice at Brighton in a week. And everyone's like, well, we still might make top 4.
But I don't really know what you mean when you say, like, we demand this. What do you want to do? Change manager? Well, you do that every 18 months anyway. Like, what do you want to change there?
No, I think it's an ethos. I think it's a totally change. I think they need to totally shift mentality. I don't think it's necessarily about the personnel anymore, which is why I'm not really angry at Maresca. I think it's what somebody really needs to realise, that you cannot just sign players who are for the furtherance of the balance sheet. Like, no player that Chelsea have signed has actually been signed for the team. If you look at where Chelsea needed to strengthen in January, it was so clear that we needed a centre-half, centre-forward, goalkeeper.
How many of you tuning in agree with that? Like, just try and drop the banter for a moment. Let's try and keep it about the football. How many of Chelsea's signings do you truly think are for the betterment of the team, as opposed to, if this player does well, we could make profit by selling in the future for the balance sheet? Is that overly cynical? Because if you've had Palmer and Caicedo look great, as an example, Gusto, I think, has looked pretty good. If they get 4 or 5 or 6 more players like that, they could win league titles. They're not just going to do that and sell, are they? Is that overly cynical from Rory? I'll be honest with you, I'm at a crossroads in my mind when it comes to Chelsea's owners and project, the same as I'm already getting that way with Manchester United's, but maybe that's because of the dark times those clubs are in right now. 2 months ago when it came to Chelsea, would anybody have entertained this idea that the signings of Caicedo and Palmer and Gusto, etc., were purely to make profit in the future? Give me your thoughts, give me your opinions in the comments section below. Really want to hear from you on that. Staying with Chelsea, though, this is Matisse during the Brighton game Friday night. Take a look at this.
You don't fucking dare. Don't you fucking dare. Don't you fucking dare!
That's crazy. What's the head loss?
Don't you fucking dare! Fucking dare! Fucking dare! Fucking dare! Fucking dare! Fucking dare!
Wow.
Oh, this is it, man. Oh, this is it, man.
How many of you Chelsea fans felt like that Friday? Or are you more in the camp of Rory, who sort of said that he's just almost so over it now, it's hard to get angry at the players and the games and the manager? Where do you stand on this as Chelsea supporters? Up next, Carefree Lewis, my bro here. Let's see his reaction during that Chelsea-Brighton game.
You saw each one is as fucking bad as the last. Colwell, what are you pointing at now, you prick?
Whoa. I do notice a lot of Chelsea fans now starting to lose it with Levi Colwell. Are you one of them tuning in now? Are you one of them?
Fucking smoke, man. Look, beaten, body too easily again. That wasn't even a foul, and you're looking at the ref. You're a bitch. You want everyone to take accountability except yourself. Shit guy.
Yeah, listen, I said it. I didn't know that was coming. And a lot of Chelsea fans losing it with Levi Colwell, saying that he's... Again, I understand the criticism. You're pointing fingers at everybody else demanding accountability, but you're not taking accountability yourself. It's also not going to help when you're making mistakes, when your team is losing. But yeah, Chelsea fans not in a good place right now. Give me your thoughts, give me your opinions in the comments section below. Now, we saw Arsenal win yesterday. And it's a really interesting response, actually, when Arsenal won yesterday. Because what I sort of noticed when they won is Liverpool fans... I think it was from Hamlet. I think in the Shakespeare play Hamlet, the line, "She doth protest too much." The amount of Liverpool fans I saw that were sort of talking along the lines of, "I don't care that they scored. We'll go back to 7 points clear tomorrow. We'll beat Villa. We'll beat City. They're not a threat." I think they're a minimal threat because I think Liverpool are so good. I think Liverpool are so far ahead, and I think they're the outright favourites to win the Premier League. No doubt about it in my mind, they are. But there's such a lack of threat. I don't understand why so many Liverpool fans yesterday were triggered. Not all. So again, if you're a Liverpool fan that wasn't triggered, if you wasn't tweeting about it, making TikToks about it, posting on YouTube about it, making YouTube videos about it, I ain't talking to you. You agree with me. You agree with me. Don't be angry at me for pointing out the ones that didn't. It was a little strange to me, the amount of posts that I saw. I just thought, oh, for someone who's not threatened in any capacity, you're certainly talking about them a lot. And generally in life, I view it that way. If there's a YouTuber you don't like and you're always tweeting about them and you go, yeah, I don't really care about him though. Lies. You feel threatened by them in some regards. You do. If there's a team that you pretend is no threat, that you're not fearful of, but you're always on at them, especially from the direction of, we're bigger, we're better. They're nowhere near as good as us. If you have to keep saying that, what are you compensating for? What are you compensating for? What is it you're projecting? Is always my question. But I saw this, and it was absolutely beautiful. Because Arsenal weren't great, for certain Arsenal players weren't great for large periods of the game yesterday. But a particular Arsenal youngster, a young Arsenal superstar, was sensational. And his cross to set the goal up for Mikel Merino was amazing. Take a look at the instant reaction here from a certain Mr. Jason Cundy.
Oh, it's the false nine.
Yeah, it's the false nine.
Honestly, who needs Ollie Watkins when you've got Mikel Merino, right? He's come off the bench. And Mikel Merino, the new Arsenal false nine, he's just headed Arsenal in front.
Now, by the way, for all of you going, Terry is a Chelsea fan, why would he be happy for Arsenal? I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. This is how he should be behaving. And I'm going to play another clip for you in a minute, but it also shows why the frustration was there before. But don't act like the hate isn't there. It does exist, and it's meant to exist. But accept it is the whole point. But you can see here what's going through his mind. It's nothing to do with the goal scorer. It's that pesky 17-year-old again.
Saturday, 12:30, wet, windy. They won't care about the performance. I think it's Wanyeri who's played the crossing from the right-hand side, Jace. And the head is really good.
Jace.
But the ball in from the right-hand side is absolute perfection from young Ethan Nwaneri. Less than Arsenal.
For when has Leicester defended, I mean, as an attacking goal, it's always, you always look at the creativity, the cross, the finish, but it's such a simple goal. Football's a simple game at times, and that just goes to show how frustrating.
Simple. Let's just go straight to football's a simple game.
It's been for an Arsenal fan. So frustrating. They've actually got numbers back. Collectively, they're in a good shape. It's Vals again, isn't it? It's Vals. You know, someone's got to.
No, he's offside.
Someone. Yeah, he's gone between Vals.
Let's now backtrack very quickly and blame it on Leicester's defending.
And
I think it's a Coley.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Not the quality of the cross. Let's just literally go to. Has to be bad defending.
Yeah.
But I mean, the head is good.
It's a lovely. It's just guided, isn't it? It's just guided towards that far post.
And as
I was saying, it's like it's been a horrible game. It's been a tough watch. Just take the 3 points. Get yourself back to London. No one's going to watch this back. Luke will go now watch.
I love it as well. It's straight to listen, it's been a terrible game. Nothing good to talk about here. But just take the 3 points and we leave. Not a single mention. Not a single mention of the top class cross doing a brilliant performance from the 17-year-old. Excuse me. That Jason Cundy wrote off. That Jason Cundy said was only in the first team, only on the bench a couple of seasons ago as a vanity project for the arrogance of Mikel Arteta. Zero research into the talent of this young man. Zero attention to how good he was. In fact, let's have a little reminder of what Jason Cundy said and why he's so bitter.
Doesn't really care about the boy. Oh, I'm sorry. What I think that's a really poor, really poor decision. I do, because it's about Arteta. It's all about Arteta. I have the manager that played the youngest ever player in the Premier League is me. I think that's self-indulgent. And when I saw the kid on the bench, I remember thinking to myself, it's great for him there being on the bench. I was on the bench at 17, right? First time I was on the bench, right?
Yeah.
So I never got on. But I remember being on the bench. So I'm thinking, what a brilliant experience for the kid, right?
Yeah.
And when he's warming up and coming on, I'm thinking, this is ridiculous. This has got nothing to do with the kid. Nothing to do. This is all about Arteta.
I think it's absolutely fair that rival fans comment on, talk about each other's teams. But there are certain elements where I think you have to often bow down to superior knowledge, or at least wait for the fruits of that labour to bear themselves. I didn't know who Ethan Nwaneri was when he was on the bench that day. I'm not an Arsenal fan. Shock horror, right? I'm not an Arsenal fan. So when Arsenal supporters go, look, he's really talented. We've been hearing about this guy for a year, 18 months. I'm so excited. I just take their word as read at that point. We can then all assess over a period of time whether that player is good enough or not. Jason Cundy had no idea who Ethan Nwaneri was. For him to jump straight to, this is a vanity project. This is about arrogance. It's nothing to do with the player. He does later on in this clip go on to say that he could become a superstar. But he also agrees completely with what Danny Murphy said on TalkSPORT the same day. And Danny Murphy went even further by saying vanity project, arrogance, but also who does the kid have around him? Can he handle the pressure? Is he now going to go off the rails? Is he a problem child? I'm paraphrasing what he said and what he implied. And Cundy said, I think that Danny Murphy went lightly. He said he thought what he said was too nice. So could have gone even further. It's just brilliant for me to watch this young man sprinkle stardust over the Premier League. A young English player, young 17-year-old living his dreams. The way the media at 15 years old were attacking him, attacking Arteta for the early developmental stages. It's just beautiful to see egg on their faces now, in my personal opinion. But I want to get your thoughts and I want to get your feelings on that below. Up next, let's take a listen to Goldbridge after the bad news about Amad Diallo yesterday.
Breaking news, Amad is out till next season. Where this has come from, well, it's coming from Chris Wheeler in the Daily Mail. It's coming from Fabrizio Romano. It's been confirmed. There's no speculation. There's no scans to be done. He is out for the rest of this horrific season. Our player of the season is out for the season. As we know from the video earlier, Mainu is also out for a few weeks. Collier and Agate are injured. I mean, the question has to be, what training were we doing? I know the WWE have got Elimination Chamber coming up in a few weeks with Cena, CM Punk and bloody Jake Paul, or Logan Paul. What have we been doing? Why are we all having a scrap in training? What's been going on? I mean, 4 players in a week injured, one of them out for the season, one of them out for weeks. What do we do? What do we do? Get bloody Vinnie Jones back to do a bit of tackling practice? It's incredible.
I get the frustration from Mark, and I did a video last night, and I said very, very similar. What are we doing in training? How is this possible? But then I had a few people call me out on it last night, and they said, well, look at the injuries at Arsenal, look at the injuries this season at City, look at the injuries at Chelsea. Most clubs are currently suffering. You look at Tottenham. Most clubs are currently suffering with huge amounts of injury problems. Huge amounts of injury problems. And I know there are some United fans that want to go in on Ruben Amorim, that want to go in on the coaching staff. But from my perspective, I feel like there's something larger at play. As United fans, again, we're going to shoebox ourselves and look internally. We'll blame our medical team, we'll blame our manager, we'll blame the training. But we were getting these issues with the last couple of managers with the volumes of injuries we were getting. But it isn't just us. The Premier League is awash at the moment with hamstring injuries everywhere. The last couple of years, I feel like the volume of ACL and MCL injuries has increased almost exponentially. Or it certainly feels that way looking at it. Real Madrid suffered with mass amounts, and they're a very well-run football club. So as much as I'm frustrated with the injuries, the biggest problem here was the board not bringing in extra bodies in January and or letting people go. But I reflect on what I said last night, and I'm thinking, I just can't blame the training. Because most clubs are suffering with mass injury issues. And so I don't see like it's an isolated incident. But what do you think? Is this on Amorim? Is this on the training? Is this on the way that we're preparing for games? Or do you think it's more about the workload that football players have? Is it to do, Alan Shearer said the other day, he feels like players are picking up injuries, even if it's days later in training, because the games are so stop-start and they're warm and they're standing in the cold and then they're working on, and then they're having to sprint around again and it's weakening the muscles, small little tears here and there. Maybe then in training, those minor injuries are turning into bigger injuries as an example. What do you see the problem being? I'd love to get your thoughts, feelings and opinions on that in the comment section below. Take care, goodbye, God bless, and I'll see you all again soon. Peace!